how do magnets actually work? Nobody really cared to explain to me, even in my physics class, how do magnets actually work in the basic principle. Because what do you mean that there's this constant force happening around this object without any other source of energy? And basically our whole world actually runs on magnets because we use electromagnets to produce energy. And since I wish somebody had explained this to me a bit earlier, I made this little representation which I'm going to try to show you on how do magnets actually work in its basic principle. The first thing to create a magnet is to actually have a charge that is moving. This charge for us will be electrons. And because an electron actually has a charge, all it would need to do is move, right? Well, kind of, but there's a small aspect to it. Because if you imagine this grid as an atom, you don't have just one electron in there. You have more of them, and usually they come in pairs. And what happens when you have a pair of electrons is that they are constantly trying to cancel each other forces out. And so even though they are constantly moving, the other one is actually doing its work to humiliate the work of the first one. So the first one's work of moving doesn't create any magnetism because it's cancelled by the second one. But again, because they are in pair and they are basically countering each other constantly out, the magnetism actually never makes it out. And when you fill the whole atom with the electron pairs, as you can see, they are kind of chaotic because they are constantly trying to cancel all of the other ones out. And this would be a representation of something like wood or plastic. But what then makes the atom magnetized is if you have the paired electrons in there and you join another one that occupies room for two by itself. And now because these two are actually canceling each other out no matter how much they spin, but this one, even though he spins, nothing is cancelling him out, he actually creates a magnetic force. And now this is just one electron. But guess what? This is one atom. A material is not just from one atom. So these single ones that are additional, they add up. And the more unpaired electrons it has, the bigger potential of being actually a magnetic atom it has. But the most interesting part is that in general, nothing is ever made magnetized. So it comes in completely unorganized state, which just negates all of the magnetism of the other electrons. And so after we discovered why does magnetism happened, what was the first thing that got magnetized? If you understood this video, you will probably be able to go on to the next one in this series.